Welcome to Crafts and Minis. That hashtag hobby streak is going strong. 6 weeks into doing the hashtag hobby streak, just a little bit in the hobby every day, documenting that on Twitter, posting a picture every day with the hashtag hobby streak. And this is week 6. Now, I'm so excited to show this. Sorry, it's not a Monday. I usually post these on Mondays. It's a Wednesday. I was out of town. I even kept the hobby streak going out of town, which I'll tell you about next week. But this week, I was able to get some stuff done. So before this week, through 5 weeks of 2020, I was able to do 210 painted minis. And then this week, you see before you 32 more painted minis, with a total of 242 painted minis through 6 weeks, which I'm very excited about. That's great. It's been a lot of fun too, because not only did I paint all these minis you see before you this week, I also built most of the minis that you see before you this week. But let's get into that. I'm so excited to show you. Now, one thing I'm not showing you is the 33rd miniature, my super secret project miniature that I did this week. And when I do show you, that is going to be nuts. So that's just a little teaser for you. Just a little teaser. Not going to spoil that, but let's get into it. So this week has been a lot of fun. Actually, I went back into the archives of the old Crafts and Minis videos that I did last year, and I did a number of videos on how to get cheap figures and using like bugs, toy bugs. And so I finally took my own medicine, my own advice, and did some bug minis. So this is kind of cool. So these I have 12 of. And originally, I glued these on 1-inch fender washers, and I had the legs still on them. So the legs were all, wiggly jiggly on the sides of this little guy. But, it just didn't look right for scale, and it didn't make sense that they were going to have to lay flat and press against the base if I was going to, glue them correctly onto the base. So I just cut them off after I already glued them and then re-glued them. And these worked out really well. So now they look kind of like giant scarabs. Now, they look good enough on the table, like metallic-wise, to stand out just a little bit. But, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. 12 of those little bugs, I can use them as anything, right? Like little larvae for rust monsters. I don't know if rust monsters come from larvae, but whatever. I could use them as large scarabs or any cool metallic bug. That'd be cool. They could even just be like little mechanoid creatures, right? That the dwarfs made to clean up workshops and mines or whatever. Okay, enough of them. This guy is a lot of fun. This is a genie miniature. Now, I'm sorry I can't tell you exactly the name of the mini and the sculpt. I do know it's from HeroClix. I don't remember which particular line of HeroClix, but it's a reblade-based HeroClix mini, and it was a lot of fun to paint. At first, the color of the smoke coming out of, the kettle, that's what it looks like, sorry, of, the genie's pot. Yep, I know it has another name. You'll tell me in the comments. That's awesome. At first, the smoke was the same color as his body, but I had that all the same, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do a little more definition, or I want to do a little something different. So I made it so when he's actually going past his belt here that started to form, then he's getting into a more solid matter. So, he's going from smoke to solid. So that's kind of cool. But he looked really fun, painted up great. And then, of course, what do you rub to get a genie out of? Oh, gosh. That's super embarrassing. But it has legs. So the genie's tea kettle has legs, which is a lot of fun. I don't know. Maybe a scarab, never mind. Okay, let's keep moving. We're having a good old time at Crafts+Minis this week. So thanks for tuning in. Okay, these two were quick and dirty paint jobs of Schleich toys. So Schleich, I don't know how you pronounce that, makes toys. And they do a lot of dragons, which is really cool. And they do a lot of different animals, that you can find just of all the wonderful animal kingdom, right? Well, they did this I wanted to call it El Dorado. It's the Eldrador. I think it's the Eldrador line, which is like a fantasy line of creatures. And they have a lot of like bigger Eldrador toys, which I actually got some of. Got some sweet deal on eBay. So yeah, I'll show you those someday. But these I also got on eBay, and they came in a pack. These each came from a separate pack. There were 3 little toys in each pack, and this is just one of the sculpts from those. And I was really excited about it. So these are like, dragon snakes. So that's kind of fun. Dragon snakes. I didn't invest a lot of time in their paint job, you can tell, but that's all right. They were still fun. And remember, done is beautiful. Now, this is really fun. Okay, mounted in a 1-inch fender washer. This is a Nothic from D&D. These, I remember watching a video, maybe it was AJ Pickett on the Mighty Glue Stick, on Nothics. That was just awesome. Like how they speak and all that. It just is really fun according to the D&D lore. And they don't make like one yet, I believe, in their WizKids line of Nulzer's miniatures that you buy in the blister packs. So this guy is actually a 3D print. Now, I have a 3D printer. I need to replace the film on my 3D printer in the vat where the resin goes, and I haven't done that yet. So I broke down and actually ordered on Etsy a 3D print of this guy, and he looks really cool. And actually now I'm looking at him, I darkened the spines just a little bit with some ink. I should have done that on his tusks as well, because they just kind of fade in there, but he was super quick and dirty. Actually, I used this metallic color, just a real quick dry brush before I did anything else. After I primed him, black all around, white from the top, Zenithal style. I did a real quick dry brush with this metallic skeleton key color, which is like a silver, but with a hint of greenish blue in it from Reaper. So it's a Reaper Master Series paint, which is fun. And then I used one of the Citadel contrast paints over it. I want to say it was like a Griffin Hound bluish gray thing, but it worked out well. And his big feature, of course, is his eye. He just looks crazy. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay. This whole video might be a little darker. I put the settings a little darker for all these guys in the back. I'm really proud of these. Don't make fun of them. All right, don't at least do it to my face. I'm not going to say I sculpted these, right? I added 2 sculpts of toys to make some sweet minis. So here's what happened. I had been collecting a box of wrestling figures from the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree had different styles of wrestling figures. So one came in these mystery packs, and you got them for $1. I know. Awesome. And the others were big guys that you got for $1 and you knew what you were getting. So I had all these guys, and I'd converted the big guys before in different things. But, I had these wrestlers, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something cool with these. So what I did, I took the wrestler's body, and I took their heads off. And then I took these skulls that are actually board game tokens from the Cool Mini or Not Kickstarter exclusive game Hate, which I don't like talking about stuff that's harder to get. You can get these skulls on eBay if you look for them or secondhand, right? But the skulls look just really cool. But use any skull you got, right? And I'll show you a different skull in a second. But I took the skulls, I glued them on the upper chest of the wrestler. Then I used DOS clay on the back here to make this mound, right? And that was kind of crucial for this whole look that I was going for. So skull on the chest, mound around with the DOS clay, and then, yeah, you already could tell. I didn't have to tell you. Hot glue. So I hot glued all this. And I use a high temp mini hot glue gun, one of the cheapest ones you can get, probably the cheapest. Nothing special like the other crafting channels have, which I love. This wasn't, even though I have like DM Scotty's blue, awesome hot glue gun with the switch on it. And I know he's recommended other ones now but I got that. I ran out and got that just like everybody, which is awesome. But this was just a cheap old hot glue gun using all temperature glue sticks. I have no idea if that matters. I'm just being transparent, right? And I did 12 of these guys. So you can see just a couple of different poses, which is awesome, of the original figure that had these different poses. And what I tried to do is I tried to leave the hand a little bit. I mean, I got the hot glue on top of the hand, but I wanted to leave the hand, and that was pretty much it in the face, right? And then rest of it, just go wild. Get your glue on. Get your glue on, right? As Craftniks would say, you just put that hot glue on, you let it do what it do. And it did what it did, and it was awesome. And so I did those, 12 of those smaller guys, which actually they're on a bigger than 1 inch base, which, okay, don't be a stickler. You play gridless though, which I really think I want to do. More of, it don't matter. I'm going to count those as medium largest guys. Okay, that's fine. These are large size. These are on a 2-inch metal fender washer. And these, if you're familiar with the wrestling figures at Dollar Tree, you know based on his pose which one this is, right? Cut his head off, put that skull on his chest, did the Das Clay on its neck to give him that big old hump that went into his back, and then did hot glue. And Nick, I'm going to steal it just for another time to let it do what it do, which was awesome. Okay, then, dun da da da, 3-inch base, huge size creature. And this, you actually see a little bit more of what I'm going for. I gave these guys hot glued bases. Oh my goodness. And so look, he's coming up out of there. And there's like these strands that are sticking on there, which is nuts. And then his arm like to his leg and his arm to the ground. And it's like you can almost hear just the bubbles, right? The gurgly bubbles from the blood mire swamp. Okay, that's the only teaser I'm giving you. These guys are getting their own video with my big surprise secret mini. He has to do with this project. Super secret, super surprising, but it's awesome. Okay, this was a cheap Dollar Tree skeleton skull that you get at Halloween. Those like big dangly skeletons that are like 6 inches long that you don't know what else to do with them. They're too big. I've seen people try to do stuff with them. That's awesome. This is the best thing I've done with it, is just get that skull outline. Now what's kind of cool is like, I love the look of these skulls on these, but it's kind of cool that the skull's kind of just barely visible on this one, right? It's actually, at first I didn't like it, but now it's grown on me because it looks like, okay, the skull's barely visible. And these guys are in the blood mire swamp. Actually, a mire is like a swamp, right? So these are, I'm not even going to give you the official title yet. You're going to have to watch another video that I haven't even filmed yet. It's going to be awesome. Okay. That's the good stuff. Now, this week, I had a lot of fun. I made minis. I painted minis. I converted up some toys into minis. Tons of toys. Actually, this week, the only thing that weren't toys were these two guys. On the left, though, that's a HeroClix converted, basically chopped off a clicky base and put on that base. And then this is a 3D print. So this was a little different. This was a creative week sourcing the miniatures wise, and it was a lot of fun. And that's why I got to remind you, get after it. Go get those toys. Shop for those deals, right? Like I love the guys who shop for the deals, right? Miniature Mashup, Blandco, all the good folks out there doing the work of trying to find those good deals for minis. It's awesome, right? And they inspire me to go use toys on the tabletop. And so Crafts+Minis, I finally did a craft and I combined it into minis. I always feel bad. This channel's more minis and just a little bit of crafts. But this week, I actually crafted some minis. So there you go. Crafting minis. Plug at the end, hashtag hobby streak. It's never too late to do day one. I actually thought this week I was going to have to do a day one this week because I wouldn't keep the streak going. But I did, and I'm filming this at night, which I don't normally do, and I still have to go get after the hobby a little bit. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to say thank you for everybody who's watching. I added more subscribers this week. I have no idea how you're finding me. I mean, I'm on the Twitters, and I have a good old time. But if you enjoy what I'm doing, support other creators who do this too, and do it yourself. I know that's not everybody's gig, whatever. I do this on my phone. I have a good old time. I just get really excited about the minis and the crafts, and that's what we do here at Crafts+Minis. So thanks for watching. 2020 is going strong with the hashtag hobby streak. Love seeing all the other channels still doing it and all the folks on Twitter. And Paul Matakishi, you're going strong. And I'm really proud of you. And yeah, I know there's a bunch of other folks out there doing it too. So just really appreciate y'all. Crooked Staff, you're getting after it too. Love that. So yeah, have fun. Go get after it. Appreciate you.